Clockwork Orange was directed by Stanley Kubrick and stars Malcolm McDowell as this teenage boy named Alex. And Alex has like this kind of gang. He has like this gang of friends, and they're basically criminals. They do all these bad stuff, these terrible things actually. They like rape women, they break into people's houses and stuff like that, and it's just terrible. But one day after Alex kills a woman, I think it's a cat lady. After he kills a cat lady, he's jailed basically. So he basically goes to jail for it, and he basically goes to some kind of mental behavior program or something like that, where they can develop his behavior and stuff like that, and try to make him learn how, and trying to teach him how to be good instead of doing awful things and stuff like that. And as soon as he gets out of jail and stuff like that, he goes back to his own old hometown, and he becomes the victims of his victims that he used to molest and harass and stuff like that. This movie is astonishing. I have never in my life seen a movie that took its time to tell a clever story. It is that good. Stanley Kubrick absolutely nailed it. The camera work in this movie is absolutely fantastic, just like the camera work in The Shining, which is another movie that he made. I noticed even one thing while I was watching this movie. I watched it the first time, I wasn't really paying attention to it, but when I watched it the second time, I paid a lot more attention to it, and I barely got bored. I didn't even get bored on anything that had happened. I didn't care at all what happened. I mean, I did care, but I wasn't bored. I wasn't bored on what was going on in the movie, because it's actually very interesting to see Alex's character develop in this jail cell. Because as the movie progresses, he begins to like understand more and develop and keep on developing as the movie goes on. And he starts to become an anti-hero during the ending of this movie. Now, I obviously wasn't around when this movie came out, because this movie came out in 1971, and if I was around when I saw it, I would have had a blast. I would have had a blast if I went to the movies to go see this. It would have been like the best time of my life. This movie is absolutely amazing. And it surprised me just as much as it surprised me when I watched The Shining. They're both fantastic Stanley Kubrick movies. Now first, before I talk about the movie, let me talk about the director. So Stanley Kubrick was literally just a man who came out of nowhere. He came out of nowhere. He just did things that were original. He didn't like pick up off of other people's ideas, unless like you count like something like The Shining or something like that. But other than that, Stanley Kubrick was just an original guy that came out of nowhere, and he made a lot of money out of his movies that he directed. He made a lot of money. He was known as the master of directing movies. Like, if you've ever seen a Stanley Kubrick in your life before, if you've ever seen a Stanley Kubrick movie in your life before, you would know what I'm talking about. It takes forever for this man to make one single scene. The shots are amazing. The shots, it's very still. You can tell that when it's very still, it feels like you're actually seeing this. You're actually in the movie experiencing what the characters are seeing and doing it and how they're feeling. Because the camera work is astonishing. It's the best camera work I have ever seen. And now let me talk about Malcolm McDowell. Definitely the best actor in this entire film. He's perfect. He's absolutely perfect. And he plays as a devilish but charming character named Alex. Malcolm McDowell is definitely a perfect actor in this movie, and he understood what he was doing. And I highly enjoyed watching his performance. I think he was perfect, and I would love to see him in more movies. As for my issues with the movie, to be honest, I really don't have any issues with this movie. To me, this probably has to be one of the greatest films in Hollywood history. And if you haven't seen this film or The Shining, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Like, seriously, what are you doing? Whatever you're not doing it right. Seriously, what are you doing? What are you doing? Whatever you're doing, go see these movies right now. Go see them. If you haven't seen any of them, go see them. To be honest, I'm probably the actually one in my entire family who's actually seen The Clockwork Orange. And that's kind of sad. However, I'm not the only person who's seen The Shining, because The Shining is a true classic, and The Clockwork Orange is a true classic too. But when old true classics that are almost like 40 years old. They don't usually get talked about too much. However, they are remembered. There were a lot of scenes in A Clockwork Orange that are 100% memorable and will stay in my heart and everyone's heart for the rest of their lives, at least the people who have seen the movie. Like the intro of the movie, where Alex and the other men are in the room while the camera paves back very slowly in a really right way, but kind of creepy way. And in the background, you can see all these decorations and 70s looking light bulbs and stuff like that, and all these little mannequins. It really fits. It really fits this kind of creepy and disturbing tone of this film. And Stanley Kubrick does an amazing job when he paved the camera back and throughout the rest of the film. He does an amazing job on the directing in this movie and The Shining and all of his other movies. He doesn't let his fans or the audiences down with his amazing directing, which I can highly respect. But yeah, I'm going to be honest when I say this. This probably, in my opinion, has to be one of the greatest movies ever made. Because if you haven't seen it, you are missing out. It's a very fascinating work of art of Stanley Kubrick. And a thrill ride for the entire family. Well, sometimes for the entire family. Did I mention that this movie's rated R? Of course I didn't, because I'm going to mention it now. So this movie might not be for everyone. But if you do like crime and drama films and stuff like that, this is definitely a movie for you. The plot is fantastic. The characters are very interesting. I loved all the characters, including Alex. And the director just nailed it with this movie. He nailed it. Stanley Kubrick absolutely pulled it off. There's nothing about this movie that I hate. Everything about this movie I absolutely adore and love. And I'm not just saying that because I watched a movie. When I say it, I actually mean it. This movie is very good. It's surprisingly well made by the master of directing movies. And it's absolutely a work of art. And there's another thing that I caught in this movie, that there are some, like I said, this movie's R-rated, so there are some embarrassing and disturbing scenes in this movie, which I'm not going to spoil. There are some like I think in the beginning, and some where Alex is being taken in jail. There are some disturbing scenes that are literally like in your face. It's like, it's in your face. It's like, surprise, yeah, you didn't know this was coming? Well, yeah, it came, bam, right in the face. And if you haven't seen this movie, and if you are a kid watching this movie review, your jaw will be on the floor if you see this movie. But you have to be a little older to understand the process of this movie. Like, you have to at least be a teenager or older. And I understood the process of this movie very well. It's fantastic. In my opinion, a perfect work of art. I love the plot. I adore the characters. The camera work is fantastic. Stanley Kubrick, you are absolutely a genius. He's definitely my favorite director of all time, aside from Steven Spielberg. He has never let me down once. And this is definitely a classic movie. It won 90% on Rotten Tomatoes and 8.3 on IMDb. That's impressive. Yeah, I know, I already said it, but guess what? I'm gonna say it again. The camera work in this movie is astonishing. It's astonishing. That's the camera work. It's amazing. And the characters are amazing. And the plot, I absolutely love the plot. There was nothing in this movie that I hated. There was not one single itty bitty thing in this movie that I hated. Now, I could probably see other people hating this movie, and that's okay, as long as you see it and stuff like that. But I absolutely love this movie. It's fantastic. It's absolutely a classic. Stanley Kubrick definitely pulled it off. I don't know if I can choose which is better between The Shining or A Clockwork Tower. I love them both. And if this director was still around today, which he isn't, he passed away in 1999, I would have loved him to make more movies, because this is definitely a masterpiece of art. It's definitely an amazing film. And for A Clockwork Orange gets an A. So guys, thank you very much for watching my movie review of A Clockwork Orange. I will be doing other movie reviews. I'm going to be doing a couple movie reviews of Animated Month. And then, next month, we're going to do some horror movie reviews. We're already getting near the fall, so yeah, I wanted to do horror movie reviews early, so I'm going to start next month. I don't know when next month, but yeah, I'm going to start my Mario Fan 520 horror movie reviews next month. But anyway, thank you guys for watching me do a movie review of A Clockwork Orange. And thank you guys for showing support to my channel. We already have 210 subscribers. I can't believe it. All of you guys are the best. All of you 210, I just wanted to let you know. You guys are amazing and fantastic, and you guys rock. But anyway, thank you guys for watching always. And as always, I am Mario Fan 520, and I will see you next time. Peace out.